Hey guys, Stormlord with Lush Gaming here, just bringing you a relive or a revive of the popular series brought back by demand. Let's build a city in City Skylines from the ground up. A lot of maps that we were playing on a while back ago and realized there's pretty good demand for this, and you guys wanted to see this series revived. So here we are, we're on Elena Falls. Map I just picked up off of the Steam Workshop. It's a pretty nifty little map. A lot of interstates that have a good grid system across the area. A lot of good transportation routes to expand a pretty big city. So I think I'm going to do another series on here. We were playing on Lake Dale, and I still have that map as well as Gulf Coast. So if you'd like to see either of those two series revived, we still have the old maps and the old save files, so we could reload those if you would like. Also, I wanted to start another series on the Delta Ridge series. That was a pretty popular one with you guys. I didn't really realize that until a little while ago, and went back and looked and saw the views were up about 200% on them. So if you'd like to see another Delta Ridge series, just drop it down there in the comments and let me know what you think. But up until then, we're going to try and focus on the Elena Falls, and I really want to focus on this area, kind of turning it into a national park kind of theme, and get a lot of some side trails in here and see what we can do with this big little aquifer system that we have rolling off of the higher terrain down into the ocean, whatever this happens to be, a lake it looks like it might be. There are a couple of coastal outlines on here, or coastal connections, and it's probably not going to let me zoom out all the way, but we can kind of just zoom around the area. There should be a couple of ways we can connect to the ocean. I believe that both this is a way in and out, so we can get harbor freight in here. Good train system as well. I believe that this is also another harbor outlet or shipping connection somewhere in here. It did say that there were two, so we should be able to get some harbors built in. I was thinking that maybe we could put like an airport system up here with the new airport DLC, get a little off ramp coming on here and set this up into an airport, and then maybe developing this into a larger part of the city, or even down here. I believe there was another spot, or this would be another good spot to build a more metropolitan area. But up until then, I think we're going to keep this episode rather short, and just kind of get the backbone to our initial city. So we don't get much area to start off with. We basically get this little area. I was thinking maybe we could extend a bridge over the interstates and get another bit of a neighborhood up into here. And I'm not going to go too crazy on the off-ramp system onto here, because I believe that I'm going to kind of focus on this area being a smaller little suburb of the main city that I'll eventually build down over here. And I think that I might taxi off of one of these interstates and kind of bring it through this area to have the main source of traffic coming into the city. So we're going to kind of just do a pretty generic setup here that works fairly well. For the most part, and we might come back and tweak this a little bit, but I think that this will work pretty good for what I have in mind. So we're gonna do, I don't have the highways yet, so we have a one-way. This is two-way, one-way. We'll do a one-way, and we'll change the speed limit on it. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go out 20 spots, and we're going to cut this at a 45-degree angle off the main road. So not necessarily a 45, but a 45-degree angle this way, and that would put us at a nice little area to start. So we'll set this to 135 degrees for this road angle. And we're going to go 20 units out. And now this is going to be all touchy. There's 135. And we'll do 20 units out at 135 over here as well. Need to get it so that way I can just use the arrows. That would be really nice. And do we have any other roads? We have this road. Don't have any of the nicer roads, so I think we might just get stuck with this for now. You can see how by doing 135 on each one, that gives us a 45-degree angle here, and we'll just switch this over so that way people can come off here. So they kind of come in, they're forced either this way, they can turn. This will lead into a neighborhood area, so I'm not too concerned about a lot of traffic or cross traffic on this route, because we'll kind of build up the more part of the commercial area over here, maybe just temporarily throw some industry in here and then focus all of this area into a residential. So I'm thinking if we do that, that should work. One lane will go forward, these two lanes will go out, and then we can update this later on to another set of roads. So I'm thinking maybe about 30 or 40 units. If I go to here, I can maybe bend the road over, go up 20, 10, and then curve over 10. So I'm thinking that that's what I'm going to do with this. We'll go over 40, and we'll bring this over 20, and I'm going to turn this at, can I go 15? Want this to be at about 90 degrees. So if I want this to come in at 90, we're 125 degrees off. So here we have to do the quick math. We need to have that angle being about 65.6, and I think we should be able to do that. We're gonna go, we gotta be at 15 and 120 to 90 should be roughly about here. I think this is gonna be off, but yeah, we were off by a couple of degrees. But this is the joy of that. We can just do this, go up 15, and then we'll just fix this by doing so. And 13, make it nice and smooth, connect that up, and then we'll just bring this road out later. I'm thinking that it would be kind of cool to have this incorporated into the city. We'll probably build this into an overpass, do some form of a train station over here or maybe up here, and then we can use the trains to connect a lot of these areas as well, because the train system or the rail system is pretty complete on here as well. We can basically get everywhere in the map from rail. So I think that that's really nice that it's already pre-built in here. A lot of different ramps and bridges. I thought that this was pretty neat, just these bridges that they have in here. So we're going to incorporate this bridge theme, and we're going to try and to continue with the bridges, the overpass, and we're going to try and make this city look pretty nice. Try and focus a little bit on the aesthetic, but really we want to focus on all the issues that arrive when you build your city, such as the traffic, and that's probably the biggest thing, is just making sure that your traffic rate stays down pretty low. So we want to build off of this, and we also want to come down. So we have 2 lanes split. We probably don't need to have 2 lanes going into a residential area. So I'm thinking maybe we can do 10 over here and about 30 down here. We'll come off this main stretch of road and we'll build some residential into this area, and we could probably cut that off a little bit further. We'll bring that in. Maybe we can build a couple of little side roads. Here they can put a little neighborhood in here, just a little one out here, maybe build some walls around this interstate to kind of knock down on the sounds. We don't have to worry about people being all upset. And I think that this would be kind of fun to do if we can. I don't think we have any of the other roads And it does look like we do. So maybe we'll do those here. And I believe that this is a suburban road. So we just have the 2 lanes here. So here's our main road. This main road goes over here. Maybe we'll upgrade these. That way we can kind of make it look nice. And we'll come back in here later on once we get a little bit more established. We can maybe sneak that out, but I think it's going to be cutting it because we want to be able to have this. Let's do this instead. And we can couple of roads. Let's see. I did want to consider going over here, so this would probably be the road that we would extend over if we're going to do that. Very easy to upgrade this later on. We have our space already left in here, so when we expand this, it only goes over by 1 more block. And let's do a couple of these and 1 more of those. That should be good for now. Maybe we'll upgrade this into a little cul-de-sac area. That cul-de-sac is awful. It'll have to do for now. And I'm thinking maybe bring this up as kind of a main off-road. I'd love the service drive strategy when tackling this. So you don't want to have too many roads coming off of your main entrance to the city. So you want to kind of keep this blocked off a little bit with plenty of space to breathe, so that way the cars don't get congested trying to turn and crossing all of the traffic. So I'm thinking, and maybe even this would be a good option. Now I haven't really used this too much, but it gives you that 4-lane road with a 5th lane in there for turning, which is pretty nice, but I don't think that the game is really developed very well for doing that. But we'll see how it does. Now, I'm believing that if we have most of our cars trying to turn right, we're really not going to need that 3rd lane for turning unless there's a lot of people coming down this way trying to turn right into here. So I don't think we necessarily are going to need that. Instead, I'm going to do this, and if we need to, we'll come back and we'll switch it to a larger road. But I think that this will be good. This will give us 2 lanes in here, 1 and 1. We could have 3 lanes in here to kind of mitigate the traffic, but I really don't think we're going to have that much traffic coming in off of the residential area that we'll set up down there. So if we want to go, and I want to build about 20 up, that would put us over here. How do we get up to that area? This is what I'm thinking. I want to be 20 over. We will go up 25. Can't quite get to 30, I don't believe. We'll do 20. Up to 40. This, and we'll just do that way we get a nice straight road. We got everything kind of where it needs to. And I'm gonna start using these gravel roads because they're much cheaper to build and delete. Should work. And we continue this out like so. Now I do, as I had mentioned, I was thinking maybe of tackling in a service drive, but as I mentioned, I believe most of this is probably going to be residential and then work more into the commercial over here and temporarily throw some industry right there. So I think that we're not going to use the service drive aspect in here, but I would like to start to build a little bit of commercial in there. And if we need to, like I said, we'll come back and we'll just kind of destroy some of what we built in here. this. Oh, residential area in there. Get some residential in here. That was a little residential up into here as well. This road can shoot off that way. For the time being, we will do something like this. I like that, but I don't like it. Why don't we see it? Yeah, I don't know if I really like that. Where would it be? Could throw a little restaurant, some business in here that kind of builds up the space, but I don't know if I'd do that. So we're just going to delete it. Again, we'll come back and think around with it later on. Then we'll have coming in. So that was a little too close. Still too. And you know what? I think that we are going to here down for four down. So I gotta go 2 over and 2 down. Try something like that. We're not gonna do that. I don't know exactly what I'm doing here anymore. Something like this. That. And I'm thinking that if I did that wrong, maybe we just... Oh, that's too close. I still think that's too close to that intersection. But let's see how it goes. So we have that connected. They come in here. Build this out to about there. And we'll fill most of this in. So why don't we go ahead... here. Start eating up a lot of money. Now we can back. Which are these? 40 and 40. So it's really not that much. Not really any much more at all. It's the same price. And maybe because we're in town, we'll just do some streets. I don't think I like the streets though. Do a generic road. We're down to 21,000. I need to put in electricity, water, sewage, and I still need industrial area. I'm thinking let's just do something very temporary here. Maybe not gonna. Alright, so let's get into and just do something simple. Do a wind turbine. Throw one right there. Now we a water tower. And I always like to do Brainerd water tower. This is the water tower from my hometown. And we should probably put it work. And we need to have a water treatment center. And put that next to here so we don't have to drag too much power line, although I don't really like it there. This is a temporary spot, so it's all going to get moved anyways. So let's just stick it right next to that. Now we have 7,100 for water pipes and to run electricity. So I'm thinking if we have to run this, technically it's touching, and we run this up to here. That should get us in there, and we'll focus on this area for now. We're gonna run this kind of similar to how actual roads are, that they run under streets. That way if one pops, oh, that's gonna eat up so much money. You can repair it. Got 170 left. What's that gonna get us? Not too much further. Alright, now let's hope that we didn't forget anything. As long as we start our city off up in this corner, then we should be okay. We have $13 left over, so if we start this like so, and hit this space bar right here, then everything should be good to go, and we'll fill in a little bit of commercial in here. I'm thinking maybe down along the side road, not off the main road, but off this top one, this road right here. These are filling in nicely. These guys come in. Now, 1, 4, 4, 4, just that. Here, this is filling in nice. That'll take care of that demand. And we have some power lines already, so this will be okay. And we'll fill this in with some industrial, and while they're doing that, that will help bump up the residential demand. And when we start to get money and need to expand, we'll obviously have to come over to here, so we'll upgrade this road right here. And we'll turn this into another little neighborhood. So now here we're running into an issue because I forgot that I didn't water these guys. So you are all gonna go bye-bye. They don't have water on the bottom 3. And that should fix that, at least temporarily. Can always build a couple of little places for the time being. You're not going to get any water. Or does our water? We can put a little bit right here. And maybe some right there for temporary storing. That's gonna bump this up. You guys also don't have water. Oh, we're getting stuck with a massive lag freeze. Be patient with me. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. We have way too many things running on this computer to kind of record in the way it's intended to. Pause this. We're going to get rid of these homes because they don't have water. We'll fill this in instead. This all has water. Except for this little corner right here. So we're almost profitable. And we'll probably get there once these guys start to come in. We can't touch this, but we can. Let's just not even think with that. We're just gonna have to build more power units anyways. And we should be making money right about... yeah, 186. Once we get to 200, we'll be making money, so... few more homes to flood in here, and we got water up there, so we can put... well, they still have one more spot to build. Alright, we're at 200. We'll start making money here pretty quick. Few spots left to fill in. Let's see if we can bump this up just a little bit more. Oh, that. Put in one more. Looks like they still have some demand for it. Oh, let's give them 4. They can put in 2 buildings. They're going to get a gas station and they're going to get a big burger. And while they're doing that, we're going to fill in the rest of our housing. Don't have water. Your house can go by. We're making money, so that'll just take us a few, at this rate, a couple of months to get the money back. But I think that's going to be okay. Residential's going to fill in pretty good here, and then once we get the money going, alright, so this is going alright. Why don't we see what kind of businesses we have here? And there we go, we just made our first milestone. Little hamlet. So we're going to need to get an elementary school, a clinic, a landfill, or a recycling center. We have laboratories, elementaries, clinics. That shouldn't be Little Hamlet. You shouldn't get that at that level. We got a bunch of schools, some medical buildings, a couple garbage places. All very useful. So I'm thinking while we have the money now, let's finish our plumbing. Across our city. Across through here. That about covers everything except for down here. Fix. There. We'll start to bring this down Main Avenue for later. For the most part, I think that is almost everything. That leaves us with 6,000 left over. That's just enough for a landfill. Put the landfill right there, again, temporarily. And we'll bring some power lines over to it. This can probably almost be deleted, but we'll leave it for now. And once we get a little more money, then I'm thinking that we'll start to put the hospitals and all those fun things in. So I think that runs us up close to a half hour here. I think we'll cut it on the first episode, and we'll just title this one. I don't know what we'll title it right now. Something about putting in just the framework to the city, starting it up, you know, just the groundwork and the grunt work, and letting the city starting to grow very slowly. And in the next city, or episode for our City Skylines, Let's Build a City series, I think we'll try and bring our city further over if we can. Maybe this would be the better option to buy first, because we're going to need both of these if we're going to build our city. We'll extend over to this area, and once we can, we'll turn this into a giant national park and see what we can do with that. I additionally think it'd be kind of fun to get something up here into the mountains. Some ski resort of some form. There were a few mountains. I don't know if there's a way we can terraform snow, but it'd be kind of cool. I think that these could be little ski paths down through here that would be very fun. So we'll see if we can put snow on top of the mountains as well. Up until then, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you'd like to see another City Skyline series brought back to life, or if you have any thoughts or questions for the city of Elena Falls.